Good morning, my friends on the internet. I have some bad news. I killed my astronaut in Lifeline multiple times. But actually the good thing is after you kill him the first time, him, her, it doesn't ever say. Once you kill the astronaut the first time, you get to go back and you can do it in a fast mode. You can actually go back and choose where you want to start from in the game. So it's kind of like a choose your own adventure book in that you can actually go back in the book. And there's been some weird outcomes. The second time I played it through last night, just some ridiculously weird stuff. I also stayed up entirely too late last night testing more stuff with the Audio-Technica mic, working on getting all the affiliate links and stuff in my videos and also on the post on the Twill.tv site. And then near the end of the night, I started realizing, you know what? Let me go check through my site. Let me just look at it. And there were so many places where I had this massively long blog post with like specifications or links or whatever, like a news video with a ridiculously long list of links. So when you were looking through Twill.tv from the main page, it's like, here's the video and then a ridiculously long thing. So you still have 5 posts on the page or 10 or however many it is, but they were just completely inundated with text. So I went back through and added in page breaks. So basically for every article you get the video, you get a little snippet of text or a link or whatever. And then if you want more, you can go see the actual page. And of course, all of the links that I put out on Google Plus and Twitter and Facebook and so everywhere else, those will still go directly to the page, so it's not going to make any difference. I also decided to try something a little different last night. I went ahead and linked up my Twitter profile to both of my YouTube accounts. That's another topic for another day, but I'm going to see what happens at 10 o'clock this morning. I have 2 videos going live. I'm going to see if it pushes out tweets about both of them, because that would be amazing. And the bigger problem there is the Google Plus profiles associated with them, because I have Google Plus associated with them, obviously, but when it auto-posts, it posts to a page instead of to my personal Google Plus page. That is one of my biggest problems with YouTube at the moment, is just the managing of accounts. In my case, I've got actually 4 YouTube channels. My 2 original channels and then these 2 channels that I currently run. But in order to manage them, I have to actually swap which account I'm using. It's very, very simple to swap accounts because I have my main personal email address set as the manager for all of them. But that still means I have to swap over. And it means that I cannot swap over while I'm uploading a video. If I swap over in the middle of uploading, it's going to think that it's going to the wrong channel and then things are just going to go wonky. Wonky is a great word, I like that. But if I want to leave a comment on one of my videos or on somebody else's video, I have to be very cognizant of which account that I'm signed in using, because otherwise it'll say Jordan Keys instead of Jordan Keys Vlogs or vice versa, and I'll find myself on my main channel videos answering as Jordan Keys Vlogs because I stay signed in as that so often. So what I end up doing, and just to try to make it easier on myself, my Chrome browser, I have my Vlogs channel signed in. My Firefox browser, which I usually don't use, I've got my Twill.tv main channel signed in. So when I want to do one or the other, I just go to that specific browser. That way I know. Again, not the best option, but it does work. But we're up bright and early on a Sunday morning. Actually going to be heading out to church here in just a minute. First time we've been to church since Ellis was born. We really just haven't been doing a whole lot of excursions with him because you don't want him to get sick. You don't want him to have to be out in the cold and all that. But she's decided it's been enough time. He is, what, 3.5 weeks old at this point? Almost 4 weeks, almost a month. Actually, yeah, it is just 3 weeks at this point. But hard to think that in about a week, he'll be a month old. Wow. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and finish getting ready and then we'll head out. Well, that is that for church. Time to run and grab a little bit of lunch with Christina's parents. I think they're going to be heading out sometime today, and Duncan is riding with them, so it is us with the littlest man. People at church absolutely flipped out over Ellis.
Yeah.
Just, well, it's really a good thing nobody really wanted to touch him, because it's that time of year, you know, people sick and
nasty colds and stuff going around.
We just don't need anybody pawing all over the baby and making him sick.
Everybody looked out.
Yeah, everybody loved on him without having to touch on it. But time to grab some lunch. Oh, that looks pretty tasty and not hugely unhealthy. Grilled chicken. Don't look at the price. Don't look. So we've made it back home at this point after lunch. He is just absolutely conked out, snoozing hard, and I'm okay with this. Oh look, we're back in the car magically.
It's just 2 of us though.
Yeah. Her parents are staying a little while later, so they said, you all can go out to the store and do stuff if you want to do stuff. Okay. I got a gift card to Kohl's, so I think we're gonna do that. Got a gift card and then like Christmas money, because some of the things that her parents got me for Christmas just didn't fit. They bought, what was it, teeny tiny sizes?
No, the t-shirt was a medium, but it was too small.
Coals and wind and coals and you and inside cold. Alright, I am okay with this. This is an entire section of wide shoes. Yeah, I wear like a 10.5 4E, so it's really rare to find shoes this wide. And I still have my Chewbacca slippers, but I just can't justify them. Gonna pick up a couple of pairs of jeans, because I need a couple of pairs. And still a bunch of Star Wars Christmas stuff out here. Darth Vader and Yodas. They're not on clearance, strangely enough. Never mind, apparently they are on sale. Regularly $20. Wow. I like this. It is adorable. It has dinosaur feet. But unfortunately, they don't have it in Ellis's size. He's newborn right now, so it wouldn't make sense to buy it right now. So, looking for 3-month stuff and don't have it.
That is pretty cute, actually.
You're gonna do that little monster. Little blue monster with blue monster feet. Cool. We stopped very quickly to cash in the lottery ticket that we had from the other day. We won a massive total, $4. Because we got the Powerball and one number. Awesome. And Christina's going in to cash it in. What do we do with our massive lottery winnings? I do not know. We were actually talking about it before we went into Kohl's earlier. She's still convinced she would love to win the big jackpot lottery. Realistically, I don't think I would. We're actually in a position right now where between my day job, her job, and the amount that I earn from YouTube, we're not hurting in the slightest. So the only thing really that winning the lottery would do would mean that we wouldn't have to go to our day jobs anymore. And to be entirely honest, we're kind of at the point right now where Christina could almost not go back to her day job if she didn't want to. If she wanted to stay home and just be a full-time mom, which she's talked about, she could technically do that and we'd be okay. It'd be a little harder, a little tighter, but it would still work. But yeah, I'm at the point where I don't think I'd want to win the big numbers. Something smaller, a couple of $1 million would be more than enough to pay everything for us. And she came back with her massive, massive lottery winnings. Woo! That's enough to buy 2 cans of Monster. He seems to be a fan of laying in his crib now. He didn't really care for it before. And he actually seems to be able to see the little mobile above it. So, growing up too fast. Looked like he was going to roll over a minute ago too. Which is just scary times. Probably not going to be able to see it, but there's actually little tiny snow flurries in the air. It's been trying to snow on us all afternoon. Little bits of snow on the ground. Nothing much really sticking or anything. There's a little bit on our step here. A very rough step. Beautiful sunset. Looking very nice, but it's also very cold. So come on, dog, come inside. And if you hadn't guessed from the earlier clips, we are back home at this point. We've just been kind of chilling out, vegging out this afternoon. Christina's parents went ahead and took off and went home. I've been sitting here working on stuff, answering comments, and actually just watching videos and resting. The last 2 clips actually came from the Nexus 5X simply because that is the device that I had on me at the time. When I was up in Ellis's room, I had left the camera down here. I came down here to put laundry in and just, again, hadn't picked this camera back up yet. I will say that is one of the running themes for this channel is it doesn't really matter what camera it is as long as you're capturing the content. The content is most important. This is most important. This. Yup. Hello. Saw himself in there, I think.
Did you see yourself?
You see a little boy in there. Oh no, don't scratch yourself. See him in there. Nope, close the eyes. Time for food. Because we have leftovers, hooray! Leftover, terrible, delicious, but terrible for us pizza. Alright, so I spent a little bit of time just now experimenting with the G7 because I think I may have mentioned, I don't know, one of the videos that I made that is pending that's going to be going up soon, I filmed it all using the G7 and then used my Sony 4K camera as the B-roll camera, the looking down on me secondary camera. I thought it turned out very well, but while I was filming it, the clock you can see in the background is just flickering the whole time, and there's banding on the screens. So still got a long ways to go and a lot to learn with this. But the majority of the problem with that is the shutter speed on the camera, all of the settings on the camera. I can fix some of that by going into a higher aperture, but I don't want to do that. That's why I bought the f1.7 lens. I wanted to be able to shoot at 1.7. If I'm going to go up to something like 3.5 or 4.0, I might as well just use the lens that came with it. Not going to be as pretty, it's not going to be higher quality, but it's still. But I figured out what I can do. These lights that I use here in the background, they have 5 light bulbs apiece in them. And so I started doing some testing and I ended up with 1 light bulb apiece. The dimmest bulbs in there are the ones that I'm using currently. And I actually, just playing around, I've got this little lamp here, this little LED lamp from Wasserstein. When I power it on, this, just hit the button there, that is setting number 1, setting 2 or whatever. You've got the dim for reading and then you've got the brighter one. Goes all the way up to 5 or 4 or whatever, I don't know. That setting, the one it's currently on, worked. It got the job done. And you know what? Rather than just talking about all this footage, I'm just going to show you the 2 clips. So I've gone ahead and I've pushed it to 1/60th of a second and f1.7 still at ISO 200. This was still flickering a little bit and this had banding again, so there's got to be a way I can work around that. Okay, Panasonic G7, I'm going to have to ask you to stop being so awesome now. This still looks like it's flickering. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But the monitors at 60 were not flickering. I'm now at 40, and I've got 1 small light on either side. This is pretty ridiculous. I could technically go back to my old lighting kit and not lose a thing. Cannot wait to go on another trip where I have to take a camera, because this camera with this lens is gonna be ridiculous. And you know, I had to go ahead and try it. I don't even have my lights on at this point. I just have this Wasserstein ring light around the camera lens. So it's just, you know, the light here, and it's just pointing, yeah, that is the only light that I'm currently using. And I'm only using it at this weird angle because I can't put it any lower, because the light itself will not allow it. But it still looks really, really good. I mean, it looks bad because it's accenting a lot of the features. It's a really harsh light, but this is like almost the lowest setting it can go on. That's the lowest I can put it on before it turns off. This is on. This is really, really bright. Yeah, that's one setting. Or excuse me, I guess that's setting 2. Wow. So a couple lessons learned there. A good camera is a good camera. A good lens makes a good camera great. Good lighting is a good thing, but you don't necessarily need as much lighting as I have been throwing at things. Granted, I have been throwing a lot of light at things for a long time, because I didn't want to have to use an f1.7 lens, because that depth of field is so shallow. If I'm trying to film with that, it's going to be really difficult to do that, but I'll still probably do it just because, wow. And actually, it's not been that bad so far. If I leave it in manual focus, and the funny thing is when I put the camera in manual focus, there's a button on the screen and a button in the app that says AF. So while I'm using the manual focus, I can tap the AF button, have it automatically focus back on me. So if I do happen to move and I'm filming, like if I wanted to get in really close, anything like that, I can hit that autofocus button and it will find me wherever I am and focus on me, or find whatever it wants to find, I guess. I'm just, every day I'm a little bit more pleased with this purchase. And it is much, much later at night. It's actually 11:15 at this point. Took some time, got Duncan in bed. Duncan and I had a little heart-to-heart earlier where I told him, I made sure he was aware, even though since the baby has been around, he hasn't gotten all of the same attention he's been getting in the past. We've been very busy. We haven't had the time to really have that quality bonding time we used to have all the time. I reassured him, man to man, that he is still and will always be extremely important to us, that we love him, that we care for him, and to make sure that he knows that, I am going to take him out and do something special with him tomorrow. Tomorrow is a holiday here in the US. If you happen to be watching this tomorrow, it's Martin Luther King Day, but that does mean that the kids are out of school. It means that I'm actually off work, so Christina is going to be staying at home with Ellis, and I'm going to be taking Duncan out to see a movie. So that should be something fun to do. And as I mentioned, it is getting kind of late in the evening, so I probably ought to go ahead and wrap things up. I'm trying to get up to 10,000 steps, and I'm not there yet. Last time I looked, I'm a little over 8,000 steps, so we're getting there. It's just, can I get 2,000 steps in the next 30 to 45 minutes? It's going to be challenging. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I know this video is a lot shorter than the ones I've done lately, but it's a Sunday, and it was a very, very lazy day. So again, thank you for spending the day with me and my family, and we will see you again tomorrow. Bye, guys.